The volume formula for a sphere is related to the cone and the prism. It turns out that if you have a sphere, a cone, and a cylinder that all have the same radius and all have the same height, and so in a sphere that height ends up being 2 of the radius. So if the height is the same, it's going to be 2 of the radius, 2 of the radius. And it turns out that the volume of the sphere plus the volume of the cone equals the volume of the cylinder, if all those dimensions are the same. Well, we already have looked at the fact that the cone is 1/3 the volume of the cylinder, so that means the sphere is going to be 2/3 the volume of the cylinder, or 2 of these volume of the cones. It takes 2 cones to make the sphere. So if the volume of the cylinder is the area of the base, pi r squared, times the height, 2r, then the sphere, if it's going to be 2/3 of that volume, it needs to be 2/3 times the area of that circle. So if you think of the hemisphere, the circle that's formed there in the middle, pi times radius squared, times the height, so the radius plus radius is 2 times the radius. 2 times 2/3 is 4/3. Radius squared times radius is radius to the 3rd power. And that's where the volume formula comes from. Surface area is a little bit more tricky. If you think that area of that circle that's in the center of the sphere is pi r squared, well, if you take that circle and break it up in a lot of weird ways, it takes 4 of those circles exactly, magically, but exactly 4 of those circles to cover the outside of the ball, the outside of the sphere. That one's a lot harder to show. You could find some YouTube videos on it if you want to see people try to demonstrate how that works. But it takes 4 of those circles.